All right, welcome back, everybody. This is episode 3 of our sister conversations, and today I'm really excited. I have a friend of mine. Her name is Abby, and I met Abby years ago through mutual friends at the time, and we just kept a connection on Instagram. Last year, I found out that she was also a sister, and she shared her story with me, and it was such a powerful story. I wanted you guys to hear it for yourself. So, this is Abby, and Abby, I'm just gonna ask you straight away, when did you find out you had PCOS and what were your symptoms? Because usually you see somebody with PCOS and they're a little bigger in body. How did it present for you, and what was that like?
So, I found out I had PCOS. Well, I started having symptoms when I was 16, and then I officially got diagnosed when I was 19. I was always small, always like my highest weight at the time was like 108 pounds, but then in 2000 and I think it was 2016, I started gaining weight rapidly. Like I went from 108 pounds to like 150 pounds, just like that, like in like a couple months.
Wow. So
Yeah.
what were your symptoms at 16 that kind of
At
tipped you off?
16, so I started my regular cycle when I was 12, and then when I turned 16, like I had like a passing. One of my friends passed, and then my period just stopped. Like no periods for like couple months. And then I went to the doctor, and they just told me that, oh, you know what, it's just hormones. Your period will come back. But like I didn't have a period on 16. Stop at 16. I didn't have a period until like I was like almost 18 again.
Wow.
Yeah.
So when you went
And
back to the
then
doctor, oh, go ahead, go ahead.
and then now it's like I have the most. I'll have like 3 periods a year, and I'm 29, turning 30 soon.
Wow. So when you
Yeah.
went back to the doctor at 19, did they put you on any kind of medication?
All right. So the traditional drugs, for morphine, I think that's the name,
Yeah.
and but it got me really sick. Like I was throwing up. Like I could not keep down anything, and then he lowered the dose to like a half a tablet. Still wasn't keeping anything down until he said, like, you know what, you're going to have to change your diet. But then knowing me, I'm a bit hard headed when it comes on to certain stuff. So I kind of just brushed off my symptoms, and then like for a couple of years, I really didn't care until I started getting really sick.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Well, at least you got the advice to change your diet. I've never heard that out of the mouth of a doctor in my life.
Yeah.
Okay,
But then
so
the thing it
go
was,
ahead.
I got that advice here. When I was going to doctor in Jamaica, like I did not get that advice. I got that advice when I came here and I saw a specialist. Yeah, that's when I got that advice.
Okay, that's interesting. Okay, that's good to know. That's good to know. So now,
Yeah.
having known that you've had it for a while, was there ever a time that you had it, you were managing it well, or has that never happened?
So all right. So this is kind of where it got serious. Like in 2019, I moved here 2017. 2019, I was working a lot. Like I was going to work at like 3 in the evening. I didn't leave until like 5 in the morning because I worked both shifts. So I developed blood clot in my foot, and it was a case where it was moving around and stuff like that. So I went to the doctor, and they told me, yeah, the whole diet thing. So I stopped eating meat. I stopped eating like cheese. Stopped eating like processed stuff. Because anything processed, once you have PCOS, you're not supposed to eat. So like the ketchup, the barbecue sauce, stuff like that. Those stuff I had to cut out of my diet. So I'm a pescatarian now. I only eat like fish and shrimp and salmon and stuff like that. So I started managing my PCOS like then, like the October of 2019.
And up to this time, you're still a pescatarian, and you feel like it's helping
Yeah,
you.
yeah.
Okay.
But symptoms, like even though I'm managing my most of my symptoms, some of them are really bad. Like I can't sleep, the anxiety is really horrible.
Wow.
Like really, really horrible. Like a couple months ago, I cut myself like right here.
Mm.
Didn't even know how it happened. Um, like I'm still not able to like. I've been like I tried getting. I have had two miscarriages. So I tried getting being married. I tried getting pregnant. That's like no. So like it has its ups and downs, but
Yeah.
I'm trying.
I'm so
As it's
sorry to
not really
hear.
easy. Hmm?
Yeah. I'm so sorry to hear about the miscarriages.
Yeah. And they were like back to back because one it was 2016, one was 2017, and then like ever since then, been trying nothing, and like stuck with everybody asking, "Oh, you almost 30, why you don't have any?" And I'm like,
Yeah.
I know I have to use the thing where I'm like, "Oh, I don't want to have none," but deep down, I want a child, so yeah.
I really think people should mind their business when it comes on to women's health.
Yeah,
Like, you don't know why I don't have a kid. You don't know why I don't have 5 kids running around this place. Like,
yeah,
calm down. Like, don't ask me. I don't feel like I should have to explain myself to anybody either. I shouldn't
yeah.
have to be writing a board and putting it out there that, hey, it's hard for me to get pregnant. It's none of your business.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
It's not easy, like, and then you go from the Pcos symptoms where you feel like you're pregnant and you're not pregnant
Yes.
and stuff
Oh,
like that. Like
gosh.
it's crazy.
Yes.
And doing like the pregnancy test after pregnancy test, and you're like
Hmm.
hoping that one day you just see a positive one, and it's like, nah,
Yeah, and it
yeah,
takes such a mental toll on you. The physical is one thing, but
yeah,
the mental.
yeah. And I know like my parents, they're not asking for grandkids, but I know like they want grandkids. And like my grandma, she keeps saying, "Oh, I wanted to have a child so I can take care of it before anything happens to me." And it's like,
Oh man.
so with all of that.
Well, that's
And
one
then
of
the
the.
thing is, I love kids so much.
Aw.
Yeah.
I'm sending you lots of baby dust, because I know what
Yeah,
it's
I'm
like. I'm
praying for
sending you
it.
lots of baby dust. I tried for years before I was able to have my daughter. And when I had my daughter, I actually hadn't seen my period for 9 months. I didn't know what was going on with me. And somebody recommended this tea to me. I took the tea. I had a really horrible period, and I never take it again because I'm like, this thing is not going to kill me. And the next month, the following month, I found out I was pregnant. So I don't know if it was the tea or what, but I was
Yeah.
grateful, but at the same time, once you're pregnant, know you're worrying about the miscarriage. You know,
Yeah.
I worried my whole
That was a
pregnancy.
big thing for me too.
Yeah.
And then, like that tea thing, like my sister recommended a product to me, a pill. And then like I don't normally have periods, and then my period came last year. My period around the same time that I did the post and we were having conversation about it.
Hmm.
Like I took two of the pill. My period came from July 17 all the way until like the end of September.
What?
Like just keep back to back. And mind you, I do not, and it was so hard because I'm like, what is going
Oh
on?
my
Like, no matter
gosh.
what, like, my doctor tried to stop it. Like, it would probably stop, like, for like 2 days, but I had light spotting, but then once, like,
Wow.
straight again.
We have to be careful with the
Yeah.
herbs that we try and the teas that we try, but once when you're feeling desperate, you'll try anything,
Anything,
you'll
yeah,
try
that's
anything.
true. We'll literally try anything
Hmm.
because, trust me, if I know a way that I can probably conceive, I would probably try. Trust me, I would. Even one son, that's it. Like I keep
Yeah.
saying, about one son, that's it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely understand that feeling. And, I'm so glad you touched on the mental aspect of PCOS, the mental toll it takes on pregnancy and overall just the anxiety and the depression and those things that come with it because not only are you fluctuating physically, you're fluctuating mentally. People notice
Hmm.
and they ask questions and they make assumptions about you that, oh, you're lazy, or oh, you just don't want to lose weight, or you eat too much, or this and that and the
Hmm.
fifth, and they don't know. They don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, because now I'm having trouble with the physical because like my weight keeps going up and down.
Mhm.
And then, you know, that the tummy that everybody wants to get rid of. So
Yes.
it's like, and then my friends, I'll put on something, and my friends, they're like, don't wear that because your belly look a certain type of way. I'm like,
Oh,
Uh,
jeez. Girl,
yeah.
it's okay.
Yeah, so
Wear
it
the
is a
thing.
lot. But I try to, especially with my mood swings and stuff like that. I tried my best to explain to like the people that I'm around all the time because sometimes people don't get it. Like I'll be here and I wake up very happy in the morning and like a split and up and I'm out, like in a split second, like everything just changed, like my mood changed. I'll be out enjoying myself and then I just go
Mood
into
just
a space
shift.
and in
Yeah.
yeah, and if I'm not working, like then my brain goes overdrive. So that's one of the reasons why I work so much because I run three businesses by myself and I still have a part time because at the end of the day I want to be active all the time so
Yeah.
I don't go into thinking or
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah.
Well, I'm I'm happy that you're finding ways to manage the stress a little bit, even though it's
Hmm.
ways that add on more stress.
Yeah, definitely.
But these are some of the things that come with PCOS, and it makes you feel sometimes a little weighted down because it's a lifetime thing. It's not something that you're gonna snap your
Yeah.
finger and be like, oh, that was it. It was a phase of my life. But it's something that we have to manage for life, and I'm happy that you were able to share your story with us. And I'm sending you all the baby dust in the world. I will DM you the tea. I don't know if it's good for anything, but I'll DM you the
Listen,
tea.
listen. Even though my husband is like, oh, he already has one, so he's like, oh, you don't have to worry yourself. We can't always that.
Yeah,
I'm like, no, I want to go through that process of,
be yourself.
having a child,
Hmm.
like seeing my body change.
Yeah.
You understand
Hmm.
that I want to experience. If it doesn't happen, like I've come to terms with if it doesn't happen, but I still want it to
Yeah. I'm sending you baby
happen.
dust, girl. It's gonna happen.
Yeah,
Amen. It's gonna
I'm
happen.
praying. I'm praying. Even when I'm 40, like once it come, I'm alright.
Amen. Yeah. It can happen at
Yeah.
any time. It can happen in the final hour.
Yeah.
You never know. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for sharing that story with us. And I did want to ask you one more question before I
Hmm.
let you go. If somebody who's watching this who is newly diagnosed with PCOS, they're scared, how they're feeling. They're scared, they're unsure, they're confused. What would be your advice to that person?
My advice would be joining a community because you can always learn from people going through what you're going through and read a lot. It's good to be informed and not every case is the same thing because I have friends that have PCOS but our symptoms are not the same. You understand?
Mm-hmm.
So like just read, join a group and be informed. Like
Yeah.
yeah.
Information will make it a lot less scary. And
Yeah.
create a support system, like you said, you had to tell your friends, what's going on with you because they're around you. So it's good
And
to.
funny enough, the thing is, I wasn't okay with talking about it until last year when you made that post. And I was
Oh,
like, you know what? It's like you are somebody I know that is going through it. Like I should share my story. And then when I share my story, like a lot of people that I even know from high school or
yeah.
from my community or people that I interacted with every day were like DMing me. Like a lot of people were commenting on the post and said they can relate, but a lot of people were DMing me and asking like, how do I cope? Because like seeing me on Instagram, you would think that I'm this fun, bubbly person, but like
There's
you
a whole
wouldn't
nother
know.
side. Yeah, yeah. We all have
Yeah.
that struggle. And we're looking for a woman who can relate. So
Yeah.
our stories are powerful. And I thank you so much for sharing your story with me, Abby.
You're
Thank
welcome.
you for the advice, and thank you everybody for tuning in. Next week we'll have our final episode and our final chat for the month of September, which is PCOS Awareness Month. Thank you again, Abby. I'm not sure if this part will make it on Instagram, but you can drop your socials so that everybody can follow you because this is going to be on YouTube too.
Okay, so it's Abidal Cosmetics for hair, Creative Works for branding, for events and for business, and I'm launching Abidal Beauty soon, which will be hair care and personal care.
All right. She was not kidding about three businesses.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you again. And thank you, everybody. We will see you guys next week.
All right.